Hello, this is Nick Fox. I'm just going to show you a screencast, just basically how to use the foxdata race cards. So here's a race card from the middle of March 2011. The first thing you see is obviously the meeting name, the date of the meeting, and a copyright notice. Here we have the race details. So it's a 210 race. The title of the race, the class of the race. This is a distance in decimals, 7.1 furlongs. The age limitations of the horses eligible to run in the race, so this is for 4-year-olds and upwards. There are 12 runners. P means polytrack surface. The other surfaces can be fibre sand or turf. It's one of the three. And L stands for left-handed, so they're going left-handed in this race. Some horses do prefer left or right-handed courses. A lot of them prefer straight tracks with no bends. This is the first horse number 1. That's its race card number. That's the saddle cloth number that it'll be wearing at the races. This is a draw 6. Horse is called Spirit of Sharjah, an Irish bred. We do the ages in decimal, unlike newspapers and other racing publications. We think this is quite important, especially for younger horses. Obviously Spirit of Sharjah is a mature 6-year-old, but for younger horses it is quite important having the decimals. There could be a world of difference between a horse that's 2.1 and a horse that's 2.5. In the square brackets we do days since last run. That's consistent throughout the card, so it's 87 days since this horse's previous run. And when it ran this day, on the 15th of December, that was after a 25-day gap. 87 days, quite a long time obviously, but so you can quickly go down and see what happened to the horse after a similar layoff here, 163 days, and you can look at the form for a similarly long layoff. The training of Julia Field, and there's 2 numbers to the trainer form ratings. The first is how much above or below we believe the horses have run in the last 14 days. And in the case of Julia Fielden's horses, we calculate that they've run slightly below par, about 0.7% below par. And the second number is the number of runners that she's actually had in the 14-day period. So she's had 4 runners in the last 14 days, and we reckon they've run about 0.7% below par. Now, 0.7% might not sound a lot, but say it was 1%, slightly more, just so we can make the calculations easier. A 5-furlong race also finish in about 60 seconds. 1% of 60 seconds is 0.6 of a second, and 0.6 of a second is equal to 3 lengths. Because the horses generally go about 5 lengths a second, so it can be quite a lot. Obviously you do want a decent amount of runners to make this trainer form rating look solid. Similarly for the jockey, there are 2 ratings. Difference here, instead of a form rating, it's an overall rating. We call it a trainer form and jockey rating. The jockey rating is based on the last 6 months, not just the last 14 days. Here we see that Jimmy Quinn's mounts have performed neither above or below expectations, exactly as we expected with the 0 there, and he's ridden 376 horses during the last 6 months. And finally we have here 132 is the weight the horse is carrying in pounds. Now the form line, the first thing you'll see on the form line is the season of the year. We do A for autumn, cap S for summer, small s for spring, and down here you'll see a small w denoting winter. It's just that so you can see the highlighted numbers here, the best times. You can see whether the horse is a horse that might come to itself at a certain time of year. Obviously on the flat there are a lot of horses that take a while to find their form. They're no good in the spring and summer, but come the autumn they can really start doing some top numbers. And with the older handicappers, certainly I think the noting the season, so you don't have to like look at the dates and work them out. You can see it virtually at a glance if the horse is one that goes particularly well at one part of the year compared with another. 5.8, that's the decimal age, 5.8 years on the day this race was run, on the 15th of December, as we said, 25 days after the last run. Now this down arrow 2 means that horse number 2 also ran in the same race. This is like a loop system, so if we look at number 2, first we look at the date, 15th of December 2010, and Spirit of Sharjah won by a length. -1 means won by a length. So number 2 ran in the same race. This is number 2, and here we go, 15th of December, same race. This horse was beaten 2.1 lengths, so 2.1 lengths behind Spirit of Sharjah, and it goes on again. Horse number 3 ran in the same race, so you go down, you can see number 3, 15th of December, beaten 2.1 lengths, finished 4th, so it must have dead heated with Angel's Pursuit. And also number 4 ran in the same race, and it keeps going like that until you get to the end of the horses that ran, and it goes straight back to number 1. So it's like on a loop, and if you follow the arrows, you'll see all the horses that ran in that race and be able to compare them directly on form. These figures here, P for Polytrack, so you can compare that with that, same surface as today, only this was a right-handed course. Kempton, KEM stands for Kempton. There's an abbreviation list that you can download from the site showing you all the abbreviations used for the courses. 7, that's the distance, it's 7 furlongs, just slightly shorter than today's 7.1. The ground was good. This number here denotes our opinion of the going, 0 being perfectly fair. It goes from -4 to +4. +4 is very slow ground, -4 very quick ground, and 0 is right in the middle. So there are 9 gradings for how we believe the going was, and sometimes the course's description differs markedly from our own. You might see a D here, which means good to soft, and we sort of agree with that. +1, it was slightly on the slow side of good, but sometimes you might see D and +2 or +3, and that means we believe that it was a lot softer than the course were actually saying. Here is the jockey who rode that day, obviously. This is the type of race. Again, you can see the abbreviations. You can download the abbreviations from the site. Else for listed HC's handicap. This is a listed handicap here. And we have a Group 3 race here, Group 2, conditionals, etc. These two numbers here, the first one is the difference in class, today's race, compared with this race that it ran in, and this 0 shows the horse is running in the same class. +1 indicates a 1-step rising class. -1, I don't know if we can find one down here somewhere. Everyone seems to be coming up in class for this race. I believe they are, yeah. So anyway, if you see -1, it'll be a horse stepping down in grade. Obviously worth noting if a horse is coming down in grade. The second number after the step up in class is a step up in weights, and the +2 says Spirit of Sharjah's carrying £2 more than it carried on the 15th of December. Here it's carrying £5 less today than it did on the 21st of August. This is basically the horse's finishing position, starting price. It shows you 1st to 13. -1 means won by a length. +1 is beaten by a length. The odds 20 to 1. This is the FX time forecast. This is the time that our computer says the horse will finish in if he or she reproduces the run of this day. And the two colours we highlight in, the yellows for horses that have the whose forecast is in the top 10% of all forecasts for the race, and the pink for forecasts that are in the top 20%. So the top 10% are the best, the yellows are best, showing the top 10% of forecasts. The pink show the top 20%. Obviously unhighlighted, they're out of the top 20% of top forecasts. So you can see at a glance really what sort of time is going to be needed to win the race. The number in brackets after the FX time forecast, remember this is the prime number here, but in the number in brackets, when I say prime number, most important number, the number in brackets afterwards is what the winner would be rated if it were running in today's race. The reason we include this is so you can see at a glance whether the time is really slow, but the horse either won as he did here. See, it's a slow time, he's doing 87s here, 87s here, doing 88.65, but it won the race. So it was just probably just a slowly run race. You know, it's nothing to worry about. It doesn't mean to say that that was a bad performance. Horses do take part in quite a few slowly run races, and it's choosing when to pass those over as a rating and just use them as confirmation that the horse is in good form. And I think you could do that with both these two runs here in slowly run races, because here it gets a 88 race, 88 race, 86 race, and this is where the horse starts to show his true colours, 87.96. Conversely, you might see a very fast time in which the horse flops, so suddenly you see all these 87s and 88s. Now one day it might take it in a race in 85 and get beaten a long way, where you could say, well, it was just out of his depth, tried too highly that day, and then maybe just ignore that race and give the horse another chance. Where else are we here? Any reasons given to the stewards at the track why the horse ran badly, and these reasons explanations come from someone connected with the horse. It might be usually the trainer or the jockey who rode the horse in that race might say, well, this is the reason it ran badly. Might also say the reason. The trainer sometimes puts up a reason why the horse improved. We log those. They're not our own opinions. These are explanations given by connections to the stewards. Down here in this column here you can see BT, which means the horse wore a blinkers and a tongue tie as it does today. So headgear is also noted. So that's it. You will find a user guide to print out on the website, but it's usually a bit easier just watching a screencast. And I hope this one has given you a good idea how the foxdata cards work. Thank you for listening.